All right, now we're going to be teaching a spot command. So a spot for us is an automatic downstay on a pet cot. So before we start this, ideally we already have a down command established and we have a stay command at least foundationally started. So a lot of dogs might be scared of getting onto a pet cot. So the way I started is I've got a food lure in my hand like this. If the dog is kind of sniffing around, hanging out, I'll show the dog the food lure. I'll lure them. Notice how he's a little bit hesitant to get on there at first. So I'm just going to get a couple paws on there. And as long as he maintains his paws on there, I'm just going to say good and reward him, just like we did with the downstay for that duration piece. Notice how I'm kind of working my way across the cot. I'm trying to use my body language, also known as spatial pressure, to kind of guide him around that cot and get him comfortable with getting on and off of it. So the first thing is I just want the dog comfortable with getting on the cot and getting off of it, which now he's just jumping right on. He's kind of following my body around. So I'll just lure back and forth like this. Good. Notice how deliberate he is with his front paws, trying to touch that cot. He is becoming aware of something there that he needs to make contact with. Good. So I'm going to do repetitions of this. Some dogs might be a little bit more nervous. Some dogs are ready to get right on there, but repetition is going to be your friend. Good. Just like this right here. Notice I'm just using the leash to help guide him and my body. The leash is basically being loose the whole time. It's just kind of keeping him with me. If I didn't have the leash on him and he wanted to blow me off and go hang out with Franklin here, then he might just go off with Franklin into the woods and have a good time, right? But if I have this leash, he's limited to 6 feet with me, okay? And you could do this in your house or anything like that as well. If you're doing it in your house, I would still have a leash on. That way your dog can't blow you off and go somewhere else, okay? So since he's pretty comfortable getting on and off, now I'm just going to use my hand instead of a food reward. So I just use my hand to guide him on here. Once he's on there, I'll just say good. I'll reward him just for staying on that cot. But the main reason I'm moving on and off, notice the leash got a little bit tight there to guide him off. But the reason why I'm moving on and off is because he does need to make a good distinction about getting on the cot, getting off the cot, back and forth, okay? So this just gets him used to getting on and off of that boundary right there. Good. Okay, perfect, perfect. All right, now the next repetition, we're just gonna have him lay down on that cot. So notice I'm using the leash a little bit. Good. Down. Good. Now, remember I said that ideally we have a down command already established. Okay. Remember the word okay means that he's free to get up and do whatever he wants within reason. He doesn't have to do the command anymore. But let's say he didn't know the down command. I could just lure him right here into a down position. Okay. And I could let him get up, come off of there. I could reward him for coming off and coming over to me, right? I have him get back on there just like this, down. So whether you're luring down or whether you're using the down command, notice his elbows. They got to be touching the ground. They got to be touching the cot, okay, before he gets the food. All right. So that's a very important distinction. So you're going to be doing lots of repetitions of this. Getting him super comfortable to laying there. Notice how he's wanting to get up a little bit. I'll just lure him back down. And the longer that he stays into a down position on the cot, the more food rewards he gets. Now, with that being said, just like we did with the down stay, we're going to do the same thing on the cot. We're going to get him used to duration, distance, and distraction. So right now we're just focusing on duration, where if he remains there at a certain interval of time, I'll say good, I'll give him a food reward, and then I'll expand that time as we go forward through sessions with this. The next step will be the distance piece where I just step away. Notice how he gets up. I say no. I give a little leash tug, right, for accountability. I say good. I reward right there. I step away again. Now remember the tip and trick. You can take a couple pieces of food rewards, drop them in between his front paws as you do this so that he gets more comfortable staying there while you move around to a further distance, right? Good. We like rewarding eye contact, putting it between his paws there. We like rewarding eye contact, so if he makes good eye contact with me, I can just say good and give him a little food reward, okay? All right, now that we have duration and distance, pretty good. Now we're gonna start distraction where we start walking around him. And if he maintains the down and he looks at us, we say good and reward. Now notice he got up and turned around a little bit, not a huge deal. Not really too concerned about that as long as he lays back down. If he didn't lay back down, that's when we would have to say no and give him a little correction so that he understands that no matter where we're at in relation to him, he should stay in that down position. Notice this right here. Nope. So that's a good example of how we would do that, okay? Now he does need to be used to the leash moving around. Notice how I'm deliberately moving the leash around. He does need to be used to me moving around, okay? Good. Obviously we have chickens out here like Bubba, who's helping us to provide some distraction for him while we're working on this. But let's say you were doing this in your house and you had other dogs or kids or cats or whatever. Those are going to be good distracting elements as well. It doesn't matter what any of your distractions are doing. He just has to focus on what he's doing, or she, whoever you're working with, okay? Notice how he got up a little bit prematurely there, but he went right back down before I needed to give a correction, okay? Bingo, okay. So now we're just going to make the spot command more formalized. So we'll just say the word, we'll say spot, we'll guide him on here, we'll wait for him to lay down. If he doesn't lay down, we'll just say down, down. If he doesn't down at that point, we'll say no, give a little correction, and then we'll reward. Okay, so now we're trying to build the command spot, which means go to the pet cot, lay down and stay there automatically, all right? Spot. So we just say the word, we initiate our movements towards the cot. Good, notice I just used my silent command for down, which is my left palm down. I didn't even have to say it. We make him stay there for a few minutes. Okay, then we have him get up again, okay? He's sniffing around, anything like that. So you're gonna do this from different angles. So I'm just out here in the yard. You could also do this in your house from different angles, okay? If he's going over to Bubba and disturbing him a little bit, no big deal. Whenever we're ready, we say spot. We start walking towards it. We use the leash to help guide him there. Once he's there, we give him a second to lay down. If he doesn't lay down, we can give the command. If we give the command and he doesn't do it, we can say no. We can give a little leash tug to signal him to go down, and then we can reward him for doing that, okay? So the whole premise right now is that we say the command, he goes to the spot, he lays down, he stays there, we'll tell him when to get up again. Okay, and we're doing it from different angles as well. Spot. Good. Notice I'm trying to be as neutral as possible. Okay, I'm trying to be as calm as possible. And I'm not really talking much to him. I'm talking to you, but I'm not talking to him. Good. So we're just getting him comfortable with that movement right there. Okay, moving from wherever we started at, moving to the spot. Spot. Good. So I'm giving him a little bit of time to think through the problem. And again, we're just teaching him, okay? He doesn't know this yet. If he knew this and then he disobeyed us, we'd be giving accountability a little bit more efficiently. But he doesn't know this yet. Good, right? So he did that basically on his own. Okay. Spot. Nope. Good. Notice that time he stopped to sniff a little bit too much. Good. So I did implement a little bit of accountability there. Okay. Spot. Good. Okay. And that process right there, if you do that repetitiously, pretty soon what you're going to find is your dog's going to start leaving from, bingo, okay. Your dog's going to start leaving from wherever you're at and just going to the spot on their own and laying down on their own. That's what we want to get to. Spot. Obviously he's not there yet. He's going to need some more repetitions, and that's totally fine. But I hope you guys grasp the concept of that. So take these tips and tricks, practice it at home, subscribe, and see you in the comments.